Today, Catherine and I are going to show you 3 super advanced core strengthening exercises that are going to help you fix your anterior pelvic tilt. What's going on, everybody? How you doing? It's Blake Bowman here with Gorillas Den Fitness, and today my sister Catherine and I are going to show you 3 core training exercises that are very advanced, meaning you might not want to try these unless you can do them with good form. They're very advanced and they're going to help you fix your anterior pelvic tilt and the accompanying lordosis, hyperlordosis, which is that excessive arching that you might have going on in your lower back. These 3 exercises center around 2 things primarily, okay? And it's very important that you're able to do these things in order to do this right. One is maintaining what's called a posterior pelvic tilt, which means your pelvis is tucked underneath you like this, okay? If you have an anterior pelvic tilt, you're tilted forwards. We want to maintain a posterior pelvic tilt the entire time throughout all 3 of these exercises, okay? So that is one thing that we need to do to make sure we're doing these right. The second thing we need to do is make sure that that lower back stays flat, okay? We do not want the lower back arching excessively. If you are able to maintain a posterior pelvic tilt while you're doing these exercises, you're not really going to have to worry too much about the back because it'll naturally remain flat. So really keep that in mind, keep that pelvis tilted backwards while you're doing these, and keep the lower back as flat as possible. Now before we show you that, which we'll do in just a second here, remember if you can't do those things, then these exercises are too advanced for you and you need to do some regressions, some easier exercises that are a lot less challenging than these, okay? I've included some links in the description down below to videos that I've made in the past on anterior pelvic tilt stretches and workouts and things like that, so make sure you check that out. But again, just to reiterate, if you cannot do these without your back arching and your pelvis tilting forwards, then you need to not do these because you'll probably make your anterior pelvic tilt worse. That being said, let's get into the exercises. Okay, so this is an exercise that I learned from a guy named Tony Gentlecore. Okay, if you don't know that guy, check him out. He makes a bunch of really good content, but what this exercise is called is a half kneeling vertical Pallof press, okay? It sounds kind of complicated, but it's really not. What you want to do is you want to basically stand up, Catherine. You want to get a cable machine and set the height of the anchor of the cable, the pulley system, like somewhere close to your neck height, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to kneel down on one leg in front of the machine. You're going to be upright and vertical with your body here. And again, you're going to posteriorly tilt that pelvis, keep the core braced, okay? You're going to pull your hands down right over your shoulders like Catherine is. And from here, all that you're going to do is you're going to press straight up in the air, okay? And then you're going to come back down, keeping that core braced the whole time. As your arms go up, you do not let that lower back arch. It's very easy to do that. The heavier this is, the more it's going to encourage you to open up your back, right? You can see from the load vector, which means the direction in which the resistance is coming from. When your arms are overhead here, the cable is going to be pulling you back like this. It's going to encourage your body to open up and go into extension. And that's what we're fighting here. We're keeping this locked down. We're not letting it flare our ribs out and cause us to arch our back, okay? This is basically how you do it. Big exhale, Catherine, when you extend up. Inhale on the way down. With this exercise, you probably want to bring this foot out a little bit further in front of you. But with this exercise, since it's kneeling, you want to do an even amount of sets on your right and left leg. But this is pretty much it, Pick a weight that's appropriate for you. If you can't do this without extending, then it's too heavy and you can go a lot lighter. Okay, so these next 2 exercises are a little bit more, difficult than the vertical Pallof press. So that's why we're showing them now. Okay, and what we're gonna do here is she's gonna demonstrate what I'm calling a bilateral dead bug. Okay, so you start by doing this by laying on your back. So go ahead and lay on your back, Catherine. And the way that this is done traditionally, a normal dead bug, is you would basically put both arms up in the air. You'll extend one leg while basically raising another arm over your head, and then you bring them back together, just like this, okay? The key here, again, as with every exercise that we're showing you today, is keeping those ribs pulled down towards the pelvis, keeping that pelvis posteriorly tilted as much as you can, and keeping that back flush flat on the floor, right? Like right now, I cannot get my hand underneath Catherine's lower back, and that's exactly what you want to do. So this is like the normal version, right, of dead bugs. This is somewhat easy, okay? It might be hard for you if you have an anterior pelvic tilt, but what we're going to show now is the bilateral version, where you're basically extending both legs and you're putting both arms overhead and then you're coming back together like this, okay? Again, keep those ribs locked down towards the front of the pelvis. No rib flare. Your ribs shouldn't be popping out like this. Keep everything locked down. Keep that lower back flat. Okay, there shouldn't be room for anything to slide under your lower back here, okay? You shouldn't be able to even get your fingertips underneath there. This takes enormous strength to do, which is why we're showing this second. It's way harder than the vertical Palloff press. You really got to keep that core braced really, really tight. Big exhale, Catherine. When you come back together, squeeze the abs really hard. Inhale as you open up, keeping the core braced. Big exhale, squeeze them all together, okay? Again, as with all these exercises, like we said earlier, if you can't keep your back from arching, if you can't stop your ribs from flaring, which means popping out like this, if you can't keep everything locked down here like this and that back is arching, these exercises are too advanced for you and you need to skip these and look at the links in the description instead. All right, so this last one is what I call anti-extension stability ball rollout. Okay, that's kind of sounds fancy. This is basically the same exercise that you would do with an ab wheel, if you've ever seen those little wheels with the handles. However, that is like a very, very advanced version, and most people, the general population, even most lifters, cannot use the ab wheel effectively because it's too low to the ground. That's the most progressed version of this. So I like to do this on a stability ball. It's a little bit easier, and it's better to it's easier to keep your mechanics sound and optimal when you're doing it on a stability ball versus an ab roller. If you have super strong core and you can do this super easily on a stability ball, then you can probably do it on an ab roller. But for most of you watching this, a stability ball is going to be your best bet. The bigger the ball, the easier it is. The smaller the ball, the harder it is. Basically, what you're going to do to get set up for this is you're going to start on your knees just like Catherine is. You're going to kneel up nice and tall, and you're going to, before you do anything, you're going to posteriorly tilt that pelvis. Okay, squeeze the butt, squeeze the abs. Reduce that curvature in the low back. From here, you're going to extend your arms all the way out. I like to make fists and put them into the ball with my thumbs up. Okay. And now what Catherine's going to do is she's simply going to hinge forward from her knees, okay? She's going to let her arms go out straight in front of her, okay? And then keeping her core tight, she's going to pull herself back upright to this position while keeping this curve in her back minimal, okay? So Catherine, you can even tuck even more from the pelvis. Okay, some of you have commented that Catherine has an anterior pelvic tilt naturally, and she does a little bit. So this is a good exercise for her. But keeping that low back, keep that low back curve as minimal as possible, right? So this is the exercise. Again, keep going, Catherine. Try to keep that, reduce that curve even more. Again, this is very, very hard. These are all advanced exercises that we're showing today. Catherine is arching the back a little bit during this. Okay, here, come over here, Catherine. I'll show you what, if I was doing this, a little bit more of an ideal version, this is what I would like to see. Again, be upright, posteriorly tuck that pelvis, make your butt go away here. Keep the core really, really tight. Roll out just like this. And then come back, okay? See how flat my back is? This is basically how you do it. Out here at end range, you should really feel your core working a lot, okay? And then you come back. The further out you go, the harder this is. But again, as with all of these, the key is keeping that pelvis posteriorly tilted and the butt and the core engaged. What you don't want to be doing is blowing open from the front here, arching that back, and tilting the pelvis forwards. There you have it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have and you're not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you go ahead and do that by clicking this right here. Also, if you want to learn more about anterior pelvic tilts and you want to learn more about how to fix it, more exercises, then you need to get my anterior pelvic tilt workout. Okay, so I basically put together a workout that gives you basically a whole workout plan that will strengthen your legs and your core, that will help to reverse your anterior pelvic tilt. Okay, it's free. All you need to do is click this button here. However, if you're watching on mobile, you're not going to be able to click that, and you'll need to actually open up the description down beneath this video and click the first link available there. Both that link and this link will both take you to my website where you'll be able to enter in your email. As soon as you enter in your email, I'll send you right over to my workout for an anterior pelvic tilt. So make sure you grab that today. Also, if you want me to talk about anything specifically that I haven't talked about yet on my YouTube channel, leave me a comment down below. I always look at them. Sometimes I don't respond because I get, over 300 a day across all my videos. I do look at them all though, so if there's something you want me to make a video on, leave me a comment down below. And that's it for today. I appreciate you for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.